Okay, now I'm going to introduce my third subsystem, which is a smart bed subsystem. The smart bed subsystem is to ensure that patients that have disability, when they try to get off the bed, the nurses will be notified of this and will come to help them. Okay, now I'm going to introduce some of the things in my smart bed subsystem, which consists actually of the smart bed, the mechanism at the bottom, the smart bed mode, which can be turned on and off, and of course the status to show whether the patient is trying to get off the bed or not. Okay, I'd like to touch on why the smart bed mode can be turned on and off and not always on. This is for those patients that can actually move around. So if they can move around and they start getting off the bed, the RFID tracking system will keep giving alert to the nurses, and this can get irritating. So actually this will be turned on only when necessary. Okay, now actually I'll do a demonstration on a patient that actually did not have any disability. So as you can see here, the smart bed mode is turned off with the green LED not lighting up, and over at the RFID tracking system here, I'll do a check on patient disability and on bed status, which is actually A4.
Patient disability status, not disabled.
Okay, the tracking system has noted that the patient is not disabled, so it doesn't really matter whether the patient is on bed or off the bed to somewhere else because of his condition that he can walk around. Okay, now let us do a demonstration on a patient that is actually disabled. First of all, the nurses need to on the smart bed mode, which is this push button. Okay, after pushing on, you'll notice that the green light will signals that the smart bed mode has been on, and the second, which is the red LED, actually signals that the patient has been off the bed, which in this case, yes, because there's nothing on the smart bed. Okay, let's now go to the tracking system.
Patient disability status, disabled. Patient on bed status, not on bed.
Okay, now we see that there's a change. The status shows that the patient is disabled, and secondly, the patient has been off the bed, which is actually in tune with the signals over at the ward side. Okay, now I'll get a ray which we will put on the smart bed. Actually, this ray is not really very heavy enough, but I need to do a little bit of pushing here. Okay, now this will simulate that the patient is actually on bed. Let's now go to check the signals. Notice that the signals, the smart bed mode has been on and the empty bed red LED has been turned off. This signals that the patient is still in bed. Let's now go to the RFID and tracking system to check on the status.
Patient disability status, disabled. Patient on bed status, on bed.
Okay, now the status has said that the patient is on bed. So through this, actually we will know that when the patient starts to get out of the bed, the red LED will be lit on, and the nurses can actually track the movement of the patients with movement disability and come and help them wherever possible. Okay, that's all for my smart bed subsystem.